It goes without saying that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is a work fixated quite a bit on centrism, with its extreme emphasis on balance. Whether it is being praised for the realistic and anti-extremist takes on its broad range of themes, or being chastised for not showing enough conviction one way or another to pick a side, it is clearly a story meant to portray the complexities of human issues and the dangers of radicalism in any sense. But branching out from that, this nuanced approach serves as a very effective thematic platform to shoulder some completely genuine emotional elegance. And one of the best examples of this in the show is the character of Colonel Roy Mustang, someone who also echoes this balance through his journey, his consistently precarious position, and the consequent emotional resonance. Roy Mustang is, to put it bluntly, awesome. Always entertaining while on screen, capable of humor, badassery, and poignancy, able to shoulder the hopes of a mistress and share the same goal as others while having different enough motivations to distinguish himself in the story. While a great number of Fullmetal Alchemist's characters position themselves in stark opposition to the military when it is revealed that they are puppets for Father and the Homunculi, Mustang is someone working from within it to change it for the greater good, arguably the riskiest position in the story. In a narrative stroke characteristic of Arakawa, he shows the benefits of a contrary approach. And this is not out of character or contrived for the sake of balance. It is fundamentally a part of Mustang. He knows what the military should represent, and he wants to restructure it, not eliminate it. It's a motivation with deeply laid foundations, done to combat the unfairness of the current setting. After witnessing the travesty of the Ishval War and doing plenty of things that he is fundamentally against, he curses his lack of personal power. He hates himself for the things he was forced to do and detests his self-perceived weakness even more. But he uses this as fuel for his fire. Mustang strives for agency, to break free of the systematic shackles of order. He chooses not to give in to grief or lose himself to his regret, but to use the terror of this slaughter as motivation to push him onward. Having been a slave to orders, he wants to position himself at the top of the totem pole, to not be forced by unjust systems to do treacherous things, and to ensure that those below him conduct themselves with integrity. He resolves to rule and put a stop to corruption, to promote peaceful relations and bring about a prosperous country. And this all indicates the barest essence of Mustang's character, his simple compassion and yearning for justice. I've described Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood characters in the past as having 3 layers, and after the trauma of his past, this is true with Mustang as well. The first layer is the cool and calculated man of duty, a militaristic mask used when he is constrained by his superiors, when on the job, or when carrying out specific tasks like giving the brothers orders. This is not the type of person Mustang enjoys being, nor is it truly him, but it is who he must be to do what must be done. Pomp and circumstance, standing on ceremony, it's all nonsense, and Mustang hates it, but he has to endure this to progress. The second layer is the jovial, easygoing joker, the lighthearted lover of miniskirts. This is where we start to see the true essence of Mustang. Despite not being his deepest layer, this is still a huge part of him, and when eyes of authority are not on him, he really is a bit of a mischievous goof. At heart, he is a huge dork. But at times, this side of his personality is his safety net. Because these two masks are often fronts that he uses to compensate or cover for his true feelings. Mustang is a man with supreme self-control, and he is an expert at acting in accordance with expectation. But in essence, he feels as much as, and perhaps more than, anyone else. We don't get much introspection with him, but I'd imagine that if we did, it would not be pretty. He is so often inside himself, incapable of the truest, most genuine expression, incapable of reaching out to those he cares for and doing what he wants to do because one misstep could spell disaster. It's all bottled up inside him, so it's no wonder that when he is confronted with those who caused him, his country, and his loved ones so much pain, he just has to let loose. or in some cases, lose control. As said earlier, his character can be described in 2 words at the basest level: compassion and justice. Mustang just wants more than ever to simply care for others and ensure that the world operates fairly. But, characteristic of a series that lays human flaws bare to the world in essentially every character arc, in Mustang's quest for this equity, his emotions sometimes tip over and he prioritizes his gratification over what is objectively right when it comes to his plans. I won't be touching on the theme of revenge here, as I covered it extensively in my Scar video, but it is a definite element of Mustang as well. He feels for the lives he took, he feels for the slaughters in Amestris, and he feels deeply for his crew. There is so much emotion built up inside this man, whether it be grief, anger, or a fervent, desperate ambition to achieve his goal, that in the very few times where this 3rd layer does leak out, we know it. This is a man exploding with pure feeling, but he must reel it all in. Partly for duty, and partly because it's just not in him to say these things. And it is very strongly implicated that Riza is aware of this as well, but despite offering a shoulder here and there, she allows and at times forces him to carry on. She is the exact type of support that he needs, the healthiest possible mix of comfort and discipline, aligning Mustang and keeping him focused. Because a leader, especially the future Führer, must be controlled and strong. The contrast we see between the facade of his 1st layer and the rawness of what he truly feels displays a saddening dichotomy between cold military disposition and genuine humanity, which extends to the show's take on corrupt militarism. He is the biggest demonstration of the brutally unfair constraints of the militaristic hierarchy. If he wasn't so restricted, and, by his opinion, powerless, maybe he could have done something about Ishval. If he was the one with the strength, maybe his best friend would still be alive. The obvious meaning here is an excuse for his tears, a nod to the 1st layer that he must maintain to achieve his goal. But a subtler indication in this scene is an allusion to his feelings of pure helplessness. A flame alchemist cannot do a thing in rain. But Mustang is cunning. Whether he be masquerading or not, he uses whatever means at his disposal to benefit his men and work his way towards his goal. Covert operations, posturing, deceptions. Mustang is willing and, most impressively, able to do a great variety of things to progress, and he does it all out of empathy. For a better future. He is the story's finest demonstration of Arakawa's thoughts on this specific topic. As with the rest of the story, everything is as it is. No concept or ideology is inherently bad. No method within extremes is incorrect. And although a great portion of the story's antagonism lies directly with military, there are those within it who are good and aspire to make things better, to rehabilitate and overthrow rather than destroy. Mustang is the mental superstar of the story, the ultimate support. Striving past the boundaries of hierarchy, defying what seems to be the rules of the universe, repressing his desires and emotions, keeping it all under wraps, and operating under the strictest of boundaries with his vision of prosperity in mind. And in the rare moments where he lost control and needed that support from others, they were all too willing to oblige due to what he had done for them. He's a man who witnesses firsthand what these dark powers can lead to, resents this system, and personally decides to make a change within them to prevent needless bloodshed like this from happening again. One more character in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood striving to reach beyond his station. One more just trying his best to make the world a fundamentally better place. Roy Mustang is truly a hero, one who would not be who he was without others, but one who has had a profound effect on those very people. To obtain, something of equal value must be lost. Many thanks for watching.